Jay-Z recently said something a lot of people didn't want to hear. He basically called out older artists for trying to sound young, saying fans can feel when it's fake. But I think that's only half the truth. Because if we're being honest, artists aren't the only ones refusing to grow up. The audience isn't either. We like to blame artists for the state of the culture. We say, music is getting worse, nobody talks about real life anymore, there is no substance. But here's the uncomfortable reality. Artists don't just create what they feel, they create what gets rewarded. And right now, immaturity is profitable.
I'll never fight against the future. Future's coming. Artists, they were trying to recreate something that was already done, but they're not connected to it like that. They're not living it and breathing it. They were fighting against gravity as opposed to telling their story. We needed that other side. We needed to hear about what happens when you have 4 successful albums. What happens? What is that feeling like? How do you make the next one? How did you get in the studio? How are your kids? How do you interact with them as this hip hop dad? But if you're trying to make young music and you're not young, it's gonna be inauthentic and people can feel that. You can smell it. So the best thing that anyone can do, like going through music, is to tell a story and just keep creating from that space. I love what the Clips are doing right now and how it's authentic to them. And they're telling a story about their mom and dad who just passed away and how deep that is, with John Legend singing on the chorus and everything that they've been through is an authentic display, a piece of classic material that it could have came out 96 or come out 2026. It still feels the same because it's real and it's authentic to who they are.
You see, I'm going to say the elephant in the room, man. This is hating ass Jay-Z once again. He talking to Drake, man. You know Drake turning 40 this year. He trying to he one of them type of nigga gonna give you the bad advice that hopefully you follow, and then when you get unsuccessful, you be like, well, at least you tried. At least you know them people be like, well, at least you did it the right way. Man, if you don't get the fuck out of here, Jay-Z. Jay-Z had a whole career. That nigga said 30's a new 20 when he became 30. The nigga said, I'm young forever. And now that he's 70, he's trying to tell other niggas, nah, y'all gotta make music like y'all old now, man. Nah, don't do what I was doing, saying 30 the new 20, young forever. Y'all gotta y'all gotta leave the youth alone. Man, this nigga don't get the fuck out of here. I keep telling y'all, man, Jay-Z the type of nigga, bruv, when he ready to, Jay-Z likes to put a bow on a lot of bullshit. The guy's 70, half his life, Jay-Z was like 50 when he was like, yo, I'm young forever. What you mean you young forever? Let's go back and check out the math. Jay-Z, forever young, that's what we mean, forever young. 2009, Jay-Z made that shit, that he young forever. Okay? It was a song on the album released in...
Alright, Ack, let's keep it real. You've been running away from your age since you turned 30. You're the exact person Jay-Z is talking about. Granted, you're not an artist, but you and everyone else who is offended by this is who Jay is talking to. Also, if you just listen to music instead of just skimming through it, you would hear that Jay-Z in Forever Young is talking about approaching life and music from a more mature perspective, while still being fresh and entertaining. But you know how the drill goes. Some reactive YouTubers only listen to be offended, or cherry pick words and statements to react to for the algorithms. Alright, so picture this. An artist starts growing mentally, emotionally, and financially. They've experienced more life, they've evolved. So naturally, their music starts reflecting that. But the moment they drop something with depth, the comments change. This ain't it. I miss the old you. This is boring. So now the artist has a choice. Be authentic and lose relevance, or regress and stay on top. And most of them they regress. Not because they're incapable of growth, but because growth doesn't get the same reaction. So now you've got 35-year-olds cosplaying at 21, 40-year-olds still promoting the same destructive habits, multimillionaires pretending they're still struggling. And the craziest part, everybody knows it's not real, but it feels familiar, so it gets rewarded anyway. This is where the culture needs to be honest with itself. Some of you don't actually want authenticity. You want comfort. You want the same energy, the same ignorance, the same toxicity, because it's easier to consume than growth. Growth challenges you. Growth forces reflection. Growth might even expose that you haven't evolved either. So instead, you reject it, and then turn around and complain about the very culture you helped create. Let's call it what it is. You don't hate immature music. You just hate when it stops entertaining you. Because if maturity really mattered to you, you would reward it. But you don't. And artists know that. So now we've got culture stuck in a loop. Artists won't evolve because fans won't support evolution. Fans won't support evolution because they're used to what they've been fed. And nobody wants to break the cycle, because breaking the cycle comes with a cost. So the real question is, who's going to take that loss first? The artist or you? Remember, artists adapt to survive. You decide what that survival looks like.